We are now gathered here to talk about an incredible adventure through space and time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Screen Time. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with fellow Doctor Who, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And we're here with...
John Walston, fellow Whovian.
And we're here to work on a marathon of Doctor Who of sorts.
It's going to be a monthly review. We are going to be talking about pretty much 60 years worth of fantastic and then sometimes controversial entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, you want to get into the overview?
Well, sure. Doctor Who is a British science fiction television show created by Sidney Newman, Cecil Edwin Webber, Donald Wilson, and Verity Lambert. The show is the longest-running science fiction television show in the world, with its production and release taking place in 2 eras. The first run of the show, known as the Classic Era, ran from November 23rd, 1963 to December 6th, 1989. There was an unsuccessful attempt to revive the show in 1996 with a television film that has now been grouped with the Classic Era. The second and ongoing run of the show, known as the Current Era, or the Relaunch, or Revived Era, started on March 26, 2005. The show is a significant part of British and now worldwide popular culture. A show that initially had a cult following has grown into a worldwide phenomenon. The show has also spawned numerous spin-offs, including comic books, films, novels, audio dramas, and television series such as Torchwood, The Sarah Jane Adventures, K9, and Class.
Mm-hmm. And there are so many doctors.
Well, should I get into the premise?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the premise of Doctor Who is Doctor Who follows the adventures of a rogue Time Lord called the Doctor, an extraterrestrial being who appears to be human. The Doctor explores the universe in a time-traveling spaceship known as the TARDIS, Time in Relative Dimensions in Space. The TARDIS has a vast interior but appears smaller on the outside and has an exterior appearance of a blue British police box. With various companions, the Doctor travels throughout time and space, combating foes, saving civilizations, maintaining history, and helping people in need. Using only ingenuity and minimal resources, such as his versatile sonic screwdriver. So, which way should we go about this? Should we talk about how the show has continued for so long, or should we talk about how we got into this?
I think we're talking about how we got into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard of Doctor Who mainly before it got rebooted. I remember looking at the DVD box sets and seeing in the stories and wondering how each of them dealt with a recast of the Doctor. I didn't quite understand the premise of it until I watched mainly when it got rebooted in 2005. Mainly, I watched a bit of Eccleston, but mainly Tennant, and then I restarted again. Yeah.
For me, I'd always heard about it for around the time I was in high school and college. But I didn't start watching until around 2012, where I was like, I really want to watch the show, and I happened to be on Comcast On Demand, and I was like, the current series is here. Oh, I'm missing the first 3 episodes, but let's not worry. Started watching Christopher Eccleston, watched all of David Tennant, and watched all through of Matt Smith. By the time I was on David Tennant, I was into it.
Mm-hmm.
When David Tennant became the Doctor, I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a fan ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, it's kind of similar. I mean, Doctor Who had become so big, right? I mean, you couldn't avoid hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you weren't watching it at the time, I'm sure there was commercials on TV. I mean, there was ads, all over the place. So it was a phenomenon, big phenomenon, and I was always interested in it. I had always just kind of like taken a liking to some of the stuff that I'd heard, and I wanted the opportunity to actually see the show, but I never really did, till like the age of streaming. But working with Chris, which I'd done on and off for a couple years, we talked about it a few times, and without spoiling too much, it's not like, Chris is a big spoiler or anything like that, but he had put some plot lines out there, a couple times, and I said, wow, like, I have got to find this show. Like, I've got to see this show, and I was hooked. I mean, I started watching on, obviously, I suppose Eccleston was my first, because I started watching New Who. But, I was hooked. After the very first episode, I was intrigued, and then the second episode of Series 1, that was it for me. I mean, I was just hooked from that point forward, all the way through to what's being released today. Still a big fan. Now, like we were talking about before, controversial, some things, but all in all, I fell in love with this mythos.
Yeah, when we get to that, okay. In the upcoming reviews, we will.
Oh, I look forward to it.
So, yeah, we've all had 3 different unique ways in getting into Who.
Yeah.
I mean, you, a very long-standing fan. Me, a fan who has definitely been watching for quite a while, and a new fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that was the best way to go about this, to look at this whole series in 3 different perspectives.
You should tell how many doctors there are with the premise.
Well, how the show's continued for so long. The showrunners and writers created a plot device known as Regeneration, in which a Time Lord transforms into a new body when the current one is too badly harmed to heal normally or too old to live. The Doctor has had 14 incarnations, with the 15th coming soon, with their own unique personalities, styles of dress, and methods to combat foes and save the day, while still keeping all the memories, knowledge, and other methods in saving the day that the previous incarnation had. Usually a Time Lord has a set number of regenerations at 12, but they can be granted another cycle of regenerations. The actors who have played the Doctor include William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, and the upcoming Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. There is also an additional Doctor that was introduced during the show's 50th anniversary, and that would be the War Doctor, played by John Hurt.
It's definitely one of the most creative ways of keeping a show alive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not something that had ever been done before its time. I mean, this show was so incredibly ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And it's such a unique thing because everyone has their own favorite Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's kind of difficult sometimes to pick what is your absolute favorite,
Very difficult.
But I mean, you have such a variety of different, you know, incarnations of a character that you can find, you know, something a bit more to your liking about how they do things, how they act, you know.
And in my opinion, you can see that in all of them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so wonderful how consistently written the Doctor has really always been.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there have definitely been some times where the show was at its best, and then there's been some times where it was kind
of course,
you know. But that happens with any long-running show.
Doctor in distress.
Oh God! We'll talk about that when we get we get to the sixth Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! Mm-hmm. But yeah, with this big engrossing endeavor, we are actually going to try to do this a release a month.
Yeah.
Where we're going to go over each Doctor, you know, give a rundown of their era and an overall review about what we thought about their time as the Doctor.
Yeah. Well, we'll start it with the William Hartnell one.
Yes, the first Doctor that started it all.
Yep. And also, before we go, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share on our YouTube, and find us on Facebook and where else, Chris?
You can also find us on Reddit, Instagram, and TikTok.
And also, coming in December, we're doing Shazam December. Also, we're doing Shazam, the first Shazam movie in Black Adam. In time.
Are we still going to do another Christmas movie?
No, Shazam is a Christmas movie.
Okay. Yeah, everybody, you're going to have to wait another year for Die Hard. Sorry about that.
I didn't even know that was on the slate.
We tried.
Yeah, we keep trying.
Unfortunately, DC and Marvel decided to move things around, so, yeah.
Yeah, but thanks for being here, John. We'll see you more.
Yes, thank you.
But want to roll us out?
Well, sure. Thank you all for coming to watch. Definitely come back and watch us again because we have a lot to discuss.
Oh, we do.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really helps. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.